In this video, I'm going to show you how to get every single thing in the brand new Bizzy Bees update in Grow Garden. This video is going to have everything you need, from the different types of plants to the different types of pets to the all new mutations you can get in this update. Starting with the brand new Bee Swarm event. So the way that you can tell if a Bee Swarm event is happening is either in the bottom right, it'll say Bee Swarm, higher pollinated fruit chance, or you can come over here and see the hive being all crazy and glowy and stuff, and the bees are going to go from this hive to each person's plot that is on the server. And what the bees are going to do is they are going to fly over just like this to a random food on your plot, and it is going to kind of hover around it just like that, and then that food is going to be turned pollinated. Then once you have your pollinated fruit in your hands, you can go ahead and walk back to the center in order to deposit it to the beekeeper. And right here you will see a big jar of honey. You can go ahead and give 10 kilograms worth of pollinated food to the honey compressor, and it is going to compress that into honey. Also, apparently this guy is the owner of Bee Swarm Simulator, which is what this entire update was surrounded by, which I think is really cool. And this is going to take a total of 3 minutes in order to fully compress, and once that's done, you will receive 10 honey points. Okay, so now that our honey is done collecting, we can go ahead and collect it, and then go over to the queen bee and talk to her. Whenever you talk to her, there are going to be 4 menus. You want to click I want to trade honey, and then it is going to open up this menu where you can get so much stuff, from flower seeds to different types of fruits to a new honey sprinkler, which we'll get into a second, a bee egg, and then a bunch of new cosmetics. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the flower seed pack. Now the flower seed pack is going to be obtainable for 10 honey points. So basically, once you put in 10 kilograms worth of honey into the compressor, you are going to have enough to get one of the flower packs. And inside of this flower pack, you can click on this little question mark to see the chances of getting certain things. So the chances are 40% for a rose, 25% for a foxglove, 20% for a lilac, 10% for a pink lily, 4.5% for a purple dahlia, I think is how you say it, and then 0.5% for a sunflower. Now that I've shown you how to obtain the crops, let's talk about each of them. So first up is the rose plant, which is actually going to be right here. Now, the rose plant is going to be the most common type that you are going to get from the seed pack, and this is honestly going to be a very, very strong plant. It is very, very small, almost like the strawberry plant, but it has a huge, huge value. So these things are going to be valued at about $5,000 per kilogram. And when you add in mutations, it gets super, super expensive. So let's go ahead, pick up this pollinated, frozen, and shocked rose and see how much it sells for at the market. So yeah, this one little tiny food is going to be worth $500,000. And over time, that adds up. So this is definitely a super, super strong plant. Next up is the foxglove, which is going to be these guys right here. Now, like I said before, these have a 25% chance of spawning, and these are going to get absolutely insane. These things are going to be worth so much. So let's go ahead and grab one, head on over to the market so I can show you guys how much this is worth. This one single one is worth about $4 million. So whenever you get one of these, definitely plant it and make sure that it gets mutations, because this had frozen and shock, which gives it like I think a 200 times multiplier, but on its own, it's still insane. And then next you have the lilac, which are also super, super good. These are going to have a 20% chance of spawning, and the minimum value for these is $31,000, and they are going to be worth a lot more with mutations. So once again, heading on over to the shop, checking to see how much this is worth. It's going to be $500,000 while it only is frozen, not even shocked. So yeah, this thing is definitely insane. And it also is one of the only ones that kind of grows around the plant. The rest of them kind of like individually grow from the flower, except for the rose. But yeah, the rose and the lilac are the only two that kind of gather around. Next up, we have the pink lily. So this is the regular pink lily, and this thing is going to be insane. You are going to have a 10% chance of getting this from the seed pack. Let's go ahead and see what this one is worth. It's worth $115,000. Absolutely insane. The second rarest one is going to be the purple dahlia, I think is how you say it. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be 11 kilograms, so pretty perfect if you want to pollinate it and then put it into your compressor. Let's go ahead and see how much this one is worth, because all of these are worth a lot, but this one is only worth 67K, so it's not really the best to sell. It's more good for kind of trading in, getting it pollinated, and then turning it in for honey. And then the last one is going to be the sunflower. Now, unfortunately, I do not have it because I have not actually gotten it yet, but this is going to have a 0.5% chance of spawning from the flower seed pack, and it is going to be worth a minimum of $135,000, and it is definitely going to be worth more than that. Just by itself, it's probably going to be worth around $200,000, and then with mutations, that definitely adds up. So make sure that you are buying all of the flower seeds packs, because pretty much all of the flowers are good. You know, I don't really think that there's a bad flower in this bunch, and yeah, they're all super helpful. Now that we've gone over all the different types of flower seed pack crops, let's go ahead and talk about the 2 that you can get from the Queen Bee shop itself. So the first one that we are going to be going over is the hive fruit. Now, I actually do not have the hive fruit, so I'm on my friend spot in order to show it to you guys. These things are going to kind of take the shape of a cacao tree. It is very similar if we go over to this cacao tree right here. It's, you know, very similar in size. Pretty much the only thing that are different is like the shape of the leaves, and then you are going to get the hive fruit from this. Now, these things are going to sell for about $6,000 a piece, so overall, not too bad for a food that grows on a tree, but you know, not the best. You can pick this up at the Queen Bee shop for 40 honey points. So after you deposit 40 kilograms worth of honey into the compressor, then you can get it. Alright, and then the last one is going to be the nectarine seed. Now, the nectarine is also going to be bought for 40 coins at the Queen Bee shop, and then this is going to have a minimum value of 35,000. So once you get it, you can plant it into the ground, grow it, and then you will be able to harvest the nectarines, and they will sell for about $35,000, probably more around $50,000. So with mutation, it really adds up. So overall, I think that is the better of the 2 fruits. All right, now that we're done with all of the crops, let's get into the pets of this update. Now, if we head back on over to the Queen Bee shop, we can see that there is actually a honey egg, or I think it's actually called a bee egg. Yeah, it's called a bee egg that you can pick up, and this is going to cost you 18 of the honey credits. So once you fill up your container twice, then you'll be able to get it. And just like the flower seed pack up above, you can go ahead and click on this question mark to see the chances of getting different pets from this egg. So it's going to be 65% chance for a bee, 25% chance for a honeybee, 5% chance for a bear bee, 4% chance for a petal bee, and 1% chance to get the queen bee. Now to start, we have the regular bee, which I actually have right here. Now what this guy is going to do is this is going to give the pollinated effect to one of your plants every 25 minutes. So basically whenever that happens, you can go ahead and turn it into the compressor to turn it into honey points, or just use it for a 2x multiplier, which is what the mutation gives. Now next up is going to be the honeybee. Now the honeybee and the regular bee are very similar. The only difference is the time between their traits, where for the honeybee it takes about 25 minutes. This one, it is only going to take about 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes, one more food in your garden is going to become pollinated, and then you can use that as the 2x multiplier for the mutation, or you can turn it into the compressor to get more honey. Now the next pet for this egg is going to be the bear bee pet, and this is going to have a 5% chance of spawning from the egg, and what this is going to do is every 25 minutes it is going to cause a fruit to get the glaze mutation. Now this is a new mutation that we'll get more into in a bit, but all you need to know right now is that it is going to give a 6x multiplier, and yeah, the bear bee is going to apply it to one of your food every 25 minutes. So overall, very nice. Now the petal bee is going to have a very slightly lower chance of spawning, as it is a 4% chance, but it is very similar to the bear bee. The only difference is that there's a 1.17% chance that the flower type fruit stays after a harvest. So basically, for any of the new flowers that you get, whenever you pick it up, there's going to be a 1% chance that it is going to stay after you harvest it. So overall, not much better than the bear bee pet, but you know, it makes sense considering that they are very close in percentage chances of hatching from a honey egg. Now the last pet, and obviously the best one, is going to be the queen bee. Now the queen bee has a 1% chance of spawning, and its trait is that every 25 minutes a nearby food will become pollinated. So, you know, like the regular bee, it is going to have the 2x mutation, and you can go ahead and turn it into the composter in order to get more honey, but it also has a second mutation. Every 30 minutes, a random pet will refresh its cooldown, basically meaning that if you have, say, a mole pet, for example, it is going to be able to dig once more every 30 minutes, which is absolutely insane. And if you combine it with some other pets like the raccoon pet or the red fox, it is going to get absolutely insane, which is why it has the 1% chance rate of spawning from a bee egg. Alright, next up we have the honey sprinkler. So the way that you're going to get the honey sprinkler is you are going to go ahead, go into the queen bee shop, and it is going to be right there for you to get. Here it is. Now, unfortunately, we do not actually have a price for the honey sprinkler, as it has not actually come in stock yet in the honey shop, but you can get it for 199 Robux. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make all plants in its range have the Honey Glaze mutation, which is a 5 times multiplier mutation. I think I actually said it was 6x before, but I just looked it up and yeah, it's actually 5x. And yeah, speaking of the mutations, let's talk about them because there are 2 ones that we have gone over and 1 super secret third one that is super rare. Now we have already gone over 2 of the mutations. We have already gone over the pollinating mutation, which is going to be a 2 times multiplier and allow you to put your food inside of the composter over there so that way you can turn it into honey credits. And then we have also gone over the glaze mutation, which is going to be a regular mutation, but it is just going to give a 5 times multiplier. Now there actually is 1 more mutation left, and that is the Void Touch mutation. Now the Void Touch mutation is the absolute best mutation that we have ever had in this game, and it comes very rarely. So basically what this is going to be is it's going to be a 135 times multiplier, and the only way to obtain this is during a black hole event, which can only be spawned by the developers. So if you were playing at all yesterday, whenever they were going crazy with all of the admin powers, you might have been able to get some Void Touch mutations of your own. But yeah, so far we have no other way to obtain it other than the black hole events, which like I said before, is only spawned by developers. And yeah, that is it for all of the stuff in the brand new Bizzy Bees event in Grow Garden. If you guys like this video and want to see more Grow Garden content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new, as it really does help me out a lot. Anyways, that's enough from me. See you guys in the next one. Peace.